Greetings and g'day, this is Andy from Motorcycle Mania, and today I'd like to share with you what I consider to be the best motorcycling road in Australia. Now, of course this is subjective and this is just what I think, but I'll give you the reasons why I think it. Now, I'm comparing it to some good roads. I've done the Oxley Highway, I've done Thunderbolts, I've done Buckets Way, I've done the Reefton Spur, I've done the Great Ocean Road, I've done a lot of rides through the Adelaide Hills, I've done stuff around Thredbo, Tumbarumba, Cooma. I've done a lot of different roads, a lot of touring. There's a reason why I say I believe, for me, this is the best ride in Australia. I love coming back to this section. Now, the thing is, what you do is base yourself in Albury. Now, Albury's a pretty big city. In fact, it's connected to Wodonga. Where I generally stay is in the middle of Albury. There's a lot of different motel options around there. I have stayed in one a few times, and I've got to say, I won't name it. I don't like it. It's old. It hasn't been updated. The air conditioning doesn't work that well, but it's probably the best location to stay. It's right in the centre of, right near the main street. Everything is walking. I have stayed in another couple of places since, and it's just another couple of 100 metres really, so what's the big deal? But they're nicer places. Now, in the main street of Albury, you'll find, if you head west, there's a great big RSL. I'll also tell you, if you head west up the main street, there's a monument, and it's a monument hill. If you're into early morning walks, well worth a walk up there. It's pretty steep, but a great view once you get up there. But anyway, back to what's the facilities. You've got an RSL at the top of this main street at Albury. There's a ton of different restaurants and stuff. There's a beautiful Thai restaurant just down from the about the middle of the street, I would say. It looks like family run and owned, and fantastic food. There's a gyros place that's made the biggest gyros and gone for the Guinness Book of Records. There's a ton of different places, different eateries, cafes. There's a good cinema set up there. There's usually a ton of movies playing. So plenty to eat. There's an Irish pub. There's plenty of places to drink, plenty of places to eat. If you want to go to the movies, have a quiet night, you can. Usually there's tons of action like Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Down there, the street is chock-a-block. It's certainly the entertainment centre of Albury. So plenty of facilities, plenty of places to stay. Now, just follow the mouse or my little hand. Once you're in Albury and once you leave, you basically head this way towards Sydney, and you'll just see just out of town, right on the corner, there's a BP service station, so you can duck in there, fill up, get your Ultimate or whatever else, and the sign says Lake Hume. So you chuck a righty at that service station and head out towards Lake Hume. You start to get on rural roads here, and you end up coming up to a T-junction right here, and if you chuck a righty, you'll drive down to Lake Hume, to the to the dam. That's what we want. And that, you go and get some photo options. It's pretty good. There's also some facilities there. You can eat, you can sit around, you can have lunch. It's a really nice sort of picnicky area, and very touristy, very nice, worthwhile spending a bit of time walking around. Once you leave, you head back out this way and you head off towards Bellbridge, and you'll drive along. The road starts to get really nice, and you come across, look to your right, and there's this really big bridge, great big steel span bridge. They're quite scenic, and head across the other side of that. Once you're across the other side of the dam, you'll see there's a signpost to Walwa. It's about 93 k's, and that's the next fuel stop. There's no fuel in between. Now, from here on, this is where I reckon the magic starts. This road that you follow along the Lake Hume, just follow my mouse right through here. I'll drag it right up to Walwa. Keep going around this corner. Just keep the lake or the catchment area on your left, and you can't get lost. That's one of the things that makes it great. It's really easy to navigate. Just keep flogging along here until it basically turns into a nice stream, and it's usually quite a running stream, up to Walwa. Now, Walwa, the facilities are, there's a cafe there. It looks fairly new. I haven't been to that one. It's been set up or built or whatever since the last time I was there. I usually go to the general store run by a young couple, and yeah, it's usually good. You can get something to eat, get a coffee there. It does have fuel and premium unleaded, although last time I was there in January 2008 they were out of premium, so we didn't get any premium. Now, the thing about that road is it's absolutely sensational. They've obviously done a lot of work to the surface, because the surface is brilliant. I found on my trip, this is January 2008, remember, there was very little gravel. I didn't see Yep, obviously the road surface had been redone, a lot of spots, gravel had been cleaned up, and it was beautiful. The other reason I like about this route is the scenery. Is you don't have to really take your eyes off the road to watch the scenery, because as you're hooning around these corners or riding around, however you like to do it, you'll just find you just turn. The scenery comes to you. It's just you've got a hills on your right. If you're heading east, you've got the hills on your right and the lake on your left, and of course reverse that if you're heading west. And like I say, the scenery is just spectacular. There's lots of pull-off opportunities, so if you want to, that sounded a bit rude, didn't it? But there's lots of area to take off the road, get photos, do all sorts of stuff. Just enjoy the scenery. I have ridden it west to east at an evening or sunset time, and I've got to tell you, some of the corners coming around getting the sunset over the lake or catchment area was absolutely mind-blowing. I really kicked my butt afterwards for not stopping and taking some photos, but I was just enjoying the ride. It was sensational. So you ride along here, the scenery. The road surface is great, not many potholes. I reckon in that 93 k's, the longest stretch of straight road is maybe 300-400 metres. So it's just continuous curve after curve. Now, what sort of curves? And this is one of the reasons why I like it. I like nice sweepers. I don't... Tight stuff's fun, but I like being able to just boot along at a nice casual speed and just sweep into corners, sweep out, and not have too many surprises. There's not too many surprise corners in that 93 k's. In fact, I can't think of any. You've got generally pretty good visibility of the road. It's nice and wide, and it's marked pretty well too. Also, the line markings are good. The other thing that's really nice about it is the traffic. Is every time I've done it, I've never seen much traffic. Now, it is a rural road, and you could get cattle crossing, you can get farmers' vehicles on there, you can get tourists, but you just don't seem to get a lot of them. And I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong. Look, leave a comment if you reckon it's different, but I found it to be very, very good. There doesn't seem to be any hazards. If you pull up around here somewhere, there's this thing called Wild Dog Creek or something. He shot a heap of wild dogs and hung them up on the side of the road. That's a little bit smelly when you pull up to take a photo. Plenty of opportunities for overtaking. That's the other thing that makes it good. If you do get held up behind a farmer's vehicle, it's not going to be long before you can pass. So look, for me, I rate it. It's got great pullouts. You can take photos. You can get off the road, have a chat. The scenery is absolutely sensational. You don't tend to get stuck behind cars because A, there's not too much traffic on the road, and B, there's opportunities to overtake if you just hang on a sec. Hazards, I've got no doubt there's wildlife, there's stock crossings, there's whatever. Although, you know, in those 5 or 6 times I've done it, I've never seen any. I like it because of the type of sweepers they are. They're nice. They're not too big and wide, and they're not too short. They're just right, you know, like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's just right. The ratio of corners, well, I love it because there's nearly all corners. There's very little straight road in the sections there. It's just absolutely brilliant. Tell me if you reckon it's worth rating as Australia's best road. This is why I reckon it's the best road. It's just so easy to ride. It's 93 k's of pure heaven. Have a good one. I'll catch you on the road.